So there, it's going live. I think it's happening. Ah, shit, I forgot to get warm water. Oh, well. Hello, everybody. Wait, there's not hello, everybody time yet. It hasn't popped up over here. Let me know it's happening. Now it's happening. Now it's hello, everybody time. Hi, welcome. It's Houston, we have a problem. We had some problems today. We're supposed to have It's Always Sad But Truthful on to talk swaps and hopefully explain them in a way that I can actually understand them. I have the most basic, poor understanding of swaps in the entire world. But he accidentally dropped his phone off his bicycle and it got smashed by a car, and he has no way of doing a show at the moment. So, waiting for him to get a new phone. Hopefully we'll be able to reschedule for later in the week. Tomorrow, there will be no show tomorrow. It's my dad's 89th birthday, and we're going to party and barbecue all day. So, we'll be celebrating with family doing that. So, no show tomorrow. Maybe if something crazy happens, I might be able to figure out an after dark or some sort of solution for that. And then news-wise, Mariners lost. 49th straight season. No World Series appearance. Donald Trump started tearing down the east wing of the White House, or this chunk of it, to build his gigantic gaudy ballroom. And it turns out he has no permits to do it. And he's violating all sorts of federal and DC laws, and lots of complaints have been lodged with the permitting and building departments in DC, and we'll see, I guess, if anything happens from that. My guess is that Trump will just pardon himself from anything, and then that will be that. What else? BYND, which is Beyond Meats, is going through a squeeze at the moment. There are no shares available, more than 1 billion shares. No shares available for lending, more than 1 billion shares traded today. The stock price went up about 300% since yesterday's close. And shit's getting wild on that one. I was going to buy calls at this morning, and I slept in and totally didn't do that. And then midday, I was like, oh, I don't know. I didn't pull the trigger, and it doubled again. So, anyway, don't you dare. You go over here. So that's what I got on the news front. Anything else I should add in there? Yeah, that's all I got for now. You guys will keep me on the straight and narrow here. Where's my mouse? Oh, you're backwards. There we go. Mouse. There we are. And I'm gonna hit the thing. We're gonna do the thing. Ready? Bam, bam.
Houston, we have a problem.
Okay, turn off the intro. Oh, I have so many intros on. All three of the intros were on at the moment. Oh my goodness. Okay, now they're all off. We're good. I hope. We'll find out. All right, we got some super chats coming here. Karen Mirza says, Blue Jays, monkey treat, please. We can do the monkey treat. Did you hear me do the rollback? You want some big old stinky chicken? Yeah? Is that what you want? You know, if you want stinky chicken, if monkey butts want stinky chicken, they come up here and get it. They come up here and get it. Come on. Come on. They come up here and get it. Come on. Come on, monkey. Come on. You can do it. Come up on your thing. Yeah, you got it. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Up. Come on. Come on, monkey. Got stinky chicken. Come on. Come on. Come on. Come on. There you go. You got it. All right. Take more out. One more stinky chicken. Ugh. Blue Jays, good job. You guys came through in the clutch, and the Mariners did not. Man, just sucks. It just sucks. One more for you. Yeah. All right. Okay. Super chats in there. No other super chats. Okay. All right. Scroll back up. Murph and Turf was first. Now I just need a question. Did you come up with one? Lyco Crypto, I don't care anymore. Kinda. Yeah. Lisa, I saw plant-based food is a meme stock now? It appears as though it is. Are you a meme stock? Huh? Yeah. Spino. As a Vancouverite, raised in the Mariners, who now lives back east and follows the Jays, that was a bittersweet win. And, I have no problem with Canada being able to rally behind the Blue Jays and go nuts. More power to you. You guys only have one team left. It's a bummer that Montreal couldn't keep the Expos. I do think that Major League Baseball should expand into basically every major metropolitan area in Canada. There should be a team in Vancouver. There should be a team in Calgary. There should be a team in Edmonton. There should be a team in Winnipeg and Ottawa. And this should just be every major metropolitan area should have a team. I have no problem with it. I have no problem with expanding baseball. Another whole bunch of leagues, whole bunch of teams. It's a bummer that only one team is in Canada. But you know what? That's going to get you guys incredible viewership because you only have one team to root for in the entire country. So make the most of it. Get yourselves that World Series win and show the Dodgers that this can't have everything, right? Oh, well. Now all LA people are going to be like, meh. Jay Geyser, sorry about Mariners, but you're right. Canadian team winning World Series would be hilarious. Yes. Lisa saw Netflix dumping down 6% earnings miss. Well, I mean, I think streaming services are going to be one of those things that people see as, $100+ a month in discretionary income that they don't really need because you can steal all of it off of the internet. And so theft is going to become rampant because the price of streaming services have gotten too high. That's my theory. I'm leaning towards just pirating everything now these days, save myself $100 a month. Why not? I mean, I think HBO I get with my internet. It comes with it. And then I get Netflix and I get Paramount with my phone plan. Those come with it. And then anything else, I canceled Disney after the whole firing Jimmy Kimmel thing and Hulu with it. So I can just steal those off the internet. I have no problem doing that. If I need to see live TV, I've found a whole bunch of websites that just show it to me. And so I don't need that either. Want to watch Monday Night Football? I can just stream it from some pirate site. I'm cool. So, yeah, we're good. Yeah. Jay Geyser, short of October crash of market, what, if any, hype days are forthcoming? Wasn't there some swaps due? The last hype day was yesterday. Swaps are due in November. I'm hoping we were going to talk about that with It's Always Sad But Truthful today. So maybe later in the week when he gets his new phone, we can do that chit chat. But yeah, November, I think November OPEX is around when the swaps are due. So, till then, we're just killing time once more, as we always do. Billy Mac, BYND, has been a meme stock since COVID, and like meme stock, retail has been left holding the bag, waiting for MOAS. I know there was all sorts of confusion with Beyond Meats and the rebirth of Bed Bath & Beyond from Overstock, because BYND and BYON, both Beyond, both got confused with each other in the same way that AMC and AMCX got confused for each other for a long time. AMC Television Studios and AMC Theaters are two different companies, unrelated to each other. So, yeah, it gets confusing. Brandon Wells, sub BBY, how do you sell warrants to maximize gains? Don't sell warrants until the stock price is well above the strike price of the warrant. That's basically how you do it. You can sell your warrants, take that cash, and exercise other warrants with that cash. That's probably what I will end up doing if the time comes down to it. And that's it. That's how you maximize it. And Jay Geyser. Methinks that the 1 for 10 warrant dividend was pretty easily covered by shorts due to GME, about 20% drop. Needs some hopium and it's not easily found. P.S. Watch that movie Mountainhead. It was great. Oh, Mountainhead already came out. I thought it was coming out like next May. I guess it already came out. Yeah, he sent me a trailer for a movie called Mountainhead. It looked like there's like a Zuckerberg, Musk, other billionaires hanging out in a ski resort mountain lodge as like all hell breaks loose. Looked pretty good. Some good comedians in there. Lisa saw Tel Aviv football derby yesterday was canceled due to public disorder and violent riots. and they wonder why no teams in Europe want to play them. Oh, oh. Was like soccer hooligan riots? Was that what was happening? Corporal Walnut, as painful as it is, I really respect RC for being conservative and boring because that's not easy. Irrelevant of shorts, I trust him and the future of the company. I don't want boring CEOs. Boring CEOs are for like accounting firms, right? You want a boring CEO at an accounting firm because all they're going to do, they're just going to crunch numbers, get some clients, crunch their numbers, get some clients. That's all they got to do, right? So you want a boring guy for that. You want a boring guy maybe for an airline because you don't want to go hog wild. You want people to be able to sit in seats, get their snacks, get from point A to point B, negotiate your contracts with your unions. Boring guy for that. If it comes to a gaming retail CEO, I don't want boring. I want someone who's going to do exciting shit because what they sell is supposed to be exciting shit. So I want somebody who's going to go hog wild. I understand you got to do the boring stuff. You got to do, trim the fat, get the profit, whatever. But you got to focus on growth. You got to focus on growth. You got to focus on expanding your market share. You have to focus on getting not just your customers excited, which GameStop customers, not the most excited bunch in the entire world at the moment. You have to get your investors excited so they feel like they're being rewarded for what you're doing. And what you're doing right now is, the fundamentals look good. Awesome. But the fundamentals of every company on earth should look good. That should just be the base, the standard, like the absolute bare minimum. And I don't want the fucking bare minimum. I want awesome. That's what I want. And you can get exciting CEOs who, rocket the ship. So let's rock it. Let's rock it. It's not that hard. Your shareholders are giving you so many ideas of how you can absolutely put this thing into orbit. I'm just tired. I'm tired. Oh well, at least I don't have to buy World Series tickets, right? So, got that. It'd just be really nice to just even have a taste of the good life for a while from having a stock win. It would be great. Rather than being down like 20% over the last 4 years. Like, keep preaching shareholder value and then call your shareholders who have been holding for 5 years day traders and talk about, we're looking forward decades or centuries. Well, you can look forward decades or centuries and get a win now. How do you think, like, the Dodgers and New York Yankees manage to go to the playoffs every goddamn year? Because they're dealing with the now and they're looking to the future. Right? That's how you do it. That's how you get into the playoffs every single solitary year and you fight for a World Series every single solitary year. How do you think the top soccer clubs, football clubs in the world, your Real Madrids and your AC Milans and your Manchester Cities, how do you think they maintain that year after year? Because they're looking at the now, the benefits of the now, and they're looking at building for the future at the same time. You can do both. So do both. Get those sports metaphors out there. So notice I did baseball and then I did the world sport soccer so that the Europeans who are still awake could totally understand that. Bringing worlds together is what I'm doing. Corporal Walnut. Also, sorry about the Mariners. We can't have nice things. Lol. Polestar says, yo, oh yeah, Polestar always reminds me I need to switch this over to live chat. I need to go to multi-stream. Duh. Sorry, if you're over on the Twitch side, I won't see your chats until they come up now. All 3 of you that hang out on the Twitch side. Also looks like Streamlabs, if I pay them a little more money, I can stream on all the platforms. let's see how much money that's going to cost me and if it's going to be a return. So like if I get a bunch of boomers over on Facebook watching and then a whole bunch of like teenagers over on TikTok, maybe it'll be worth it. So I am allowed to live stream on the TikTok account now. I finally got notice for that, but it only lets me live stream on 2 things, and I don't have an audience on TikTok yet. So I'll figure that out. Okay. Polestar also says, where can I send you a Jay's hat? The P.O. box down below is always open for swag that can sit in a closet. I have no problem with that. Can I read? Happy birthday, HW. Sorry for the baseball loss, but on the not so much bright side, even though Canada won, we aren't winning inflation. Inflation increases to 0.4%. Core inflation at 2.8%. Looking like rate cut next week. Guess we'll just let it get bad. Stagflation. Yeah, inflation's up, so let's cut rates and make it up even more. Although I have been reading a lot of articles about condo prices collapsing like crazy and rent prices, especially in Eastern Canada, starting to crater. So maybe you guys are, a lot of people are going to lose values on their houses, but maybe you guys are going to get to like affordable housing as a result. That's one way to battle inflation, is to make it so that all the people invested in property lose out. But Polestar is first over on the Twitch side. Nice job. Matthew Jackson, bucket loading 4 yards of stone into a basement through a window for a customer makes me want to mow as soon. That sounds miserable. Like, what? If a 5-gallon bucket is 40 pounds, so you got to move, Jesus. Okay, 4 yards. 4 yards is about 4 tons, more or less. So that is 8,000 pounds. So you're looking at 8,000 divided by 40, 200 buckets minimum. Oof. There'll be some sore hands if those handles are tiny, or if you're just on the wire with that little plastic handle holder. Gross. I feel for you there, Matthew. Will the silver and gold issues be a catalyst for us? I don't think they're catalysts necessarily so much as they're an indicator that the economy is... So the economy diving, that's the catalyst. But silver and gold being up, that's just a symptom of the catalyst that's coming, as far as I can tell. So, yeah. And also asks, is it possible silver and gold show the first order effects of naked short positions? Precious metals are the most heavily shorted market in the world and have been published about with JP Morgan silver. This is an unwinding of positions. That could also be the case, because I read something not too long ago about the silver spike in 2008 is actually what triggered Lehman Brothers to collapse. Yeah, they were all tied up in these mortgage-backed securities and everything like that, but it was what they owed on their shorts in the silver market when that exploded is what sucked all their cash away, and then all their other liabilities crashed them. So yeah, I guess there probably can be. I know JP Morgan has gotten in trouble in the past for spoofing silver, for naked shorting silver, for like doing all sorts of weird stuff. Remember when they got busted for making that giant nickel order, and then all the nickel turned out to just be rocks and bags and no one checked? So there's shenanigans afoot throughout the entire gold market. I know that a lot of gold bars that trade have like chunks of tungsten and lead in them instead of gold. And you're just trading in hope that a lot of this is actually the real deal. So there's gonna be all sorts of snafus and what have yous. So keep your eye on it. It could be an indicator that everything else is gonna drop with it. I think there's so many frauds right now that are all gonna come to a head at the same time, because the money's gonna stop flowing, and so many of these schemes require just constant cash flows, and the cash flows aren't gonna come. So what we got? No, it's just a congresswoman trying to get me to vote for her. Who cares about that? Benjamin, did you hear the scream from the Mariners locker room during the Brian Wu interview? Yeah. absolute just, yeah. I get it. I remember in 95, the Mariners made it to the American League Championship Series against the Cleveland Indians. And after just an improbable win against the Yankees in Game 5, one of the most memorable baseball moments for a Seattle fan ever was Edgar Martinez's bases loaded double there with 2 outs in the ninth. And seeing Joey Cora, second baseman, just bawling his eyes out, just crying so hard and being consoled on the bench in the dugout, and just be like, "It's okay, buddy." And he is just raw. I mean, there are levels of professional play that I'm just things you achieve throughout life if you are truly just like an athlete's athlete, right? Every single one of those major leaguers, they absolutely dominated their peers growing up. It was not even fair, right? They played high school ball. They had 20 home runs in a season. They pitched 4 no-hitters. It wasn't even close. Every single one of those guys dominated. If they went to college, they dominated as well. They went in the minor leagues, they dominated the minor leagues. And you get to a level where you've won the high school state championships, you've won college World Series, you've won, All-America honors, Player of the Year, East Coast, West Coast All-Stars. You've done all these levels, and you made it to a professional. And for some professionals, just getting there is the win, right? They're like, I got up to the major leagues, Mom. I did it. And that is like the moment, like, they've worked so hard for their entire life. They know that like that's the level. That's where they're peaking, is just getting into the league, right? And then you have these guys that are on another level from that. And these dudes, just getting into the league isn't what they're about. They're there to dominate the league, right? And so that's that next level up. But for so many, being able to put that American League Championship ring on, that World Series ring, and be like, hell yeah, I've achieved it all, is a really, really big deal. To like have that legacy for not just you, but your families. There's an Olympian, she's a 5-time Olympian a skeleton racer, Katie Ulander. And her dad was part of the Big Red Machine back in the 70s. And she has, her dad's National League Championship ring and World Series rings. And if you were to ask her, like, those 2 things are just as important in her life as her like gold World Championship medal. Just being able to like have those testaments to her dad's work and greatness and everything else. And so the fact that the Mariners are the only team to never get one of those things, and the Seattle sports fans have just been like, for so long, hoping someday. I mean, the Blue Jays and the Mariners are the exact same age. Their first season was 1977. This is the Blue Jays' 3rd time to the World Series in those 49 years. And, the Marlins and the Rockies were birthed in 1993, and the Marlins managed to win the World Series in 1997 and again in 2003. The Rockies went to the World Series in 2007? The Tampa Bay Rays been in the World Series twice now. Like, these are teams that are much younger. Why? Why do they get the ownership who can figure it out, and the Mariners just can't? This is another reason why MOA should happen, because I will fix this. I will fix it. I will make sure the Mariners have incredible payroll, that they're utilizing their team-owned television station the way it should be, and I will bring glory upon Seattle. So come on, Ryan, let me do this. You get to have your Panthers win a championship. Blah, 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 blah. Let me my Mariners do it. But yeah, I understand the scream there, Benjamin. If that's the roundabout way of talking about that. So, okay. Okay. King Ding Dong. I put 1K and beyond, 230. Hopefully, I sell for profit. I do think there's a ways to go on it. just because there's no shorts, there's no shares to borrow. There's nothing. It seems like there's a lot of, I think for most part, it's FOMO at the moment causing the price to go up. But if we hit like $6, $7, we are at a 52-week high, and that can cause, you know, some craziness to happen, because that means that a whole bunch of shorts be underwater at that point, and they'd be underwater, you know, 2 or 3x probably at that point. And yeah. Hazel A says, happy birthday, Houston's dad. Yes. Good old John Wade, 89 years old tomorrow. 89 years old. And he's still doing his pull-ups, he's still doing his push-ups, he's still doing his squats and his bench presses. And I mean, he's not the weights he used to do. And he's like 4 inches shorter than he was at his peak. But you know what? He's still getting up every day. He still sails all the time with his friends. He's out there all the time. So good for him. Polestar laws in the US, lol. I know. AK0. What gold ETFs do you recommend me to buy? Are gold ETFs better than gold mining companies? I think gold ETFs are probably more stable than gold mining companies, mainly because they just buy gold. Gold mutual funds just buy gold, and then just goes according to the price of gold. The ETFs do a little more play, because they'll buy futures and sell gold, and then they are working for getting a profit on the up and down of the gold cycle. Gold mining companies are great if they open up new mines. But if they are stuck working old mines, you know, yeah, the price of gold goes up. They might get enough money out of what they're selling as a result. But for the most part, the older the mine is, the less play it's going to have over time. So you want to look at gold mining companies that are able to exploit new regions and new mines. So, I mean, if you can do gold mining companies, you can go with the big guys. Don't go with little guys. Go with the big guys like, you know, Barrick, Rio Tinto, companies like that. Because what happens is the little guys, if they have anything that's worthwhile, the big guys go and just take them over. And so you may as well own the big guy anyway. Very, very few times does the little guy these days become a big player. I can't think of any recently that become a big player. Mostly it's the big dudes jump in and just take them over, and that's what you have at that point. Colin, hey, Blue Jays. Hope we don't get smoked by LA. You know, LA's they've had many days off. Let's hope they're just doing a bunch of drugs and getting fat, right? That's what we can hope for. They aren't actually like scrimmaging or going to practice. They're just like, woo, party, woo, we're in LA, woo, models. And then the Blue Jays have a chance. If they're actually like buckling down and getting their massages and doing their workouts, and it's gonna be a rough one. I mean, basically you're facing what, 5 or 6, 7 Hall of Famers on that squad. They are seasoned. They know they're this shit, and they know they kind of like half-ass the entire season just to steamroll in the playoffs. They're like, you know, we'll get our work in, do whatever, but now it's time to actually focus. So good luck, Blue Jays, on that one. Stertler says, "Oi, Houston." Michael Harrow. Oh shoot, Michael Harrow, you just flew by. There you are, Michael Harrow. Houston, sorry about the Mariners and your World Series dream. It will be all right. There's always that can of spam. Speaking of which, I got no spam chats in here, so I still need to make the whatchamajigger, the spreadsheet. Excel. Let's see here. Hey, blank workbook. I'll throw you over to this side over there. There we go. Okay. How should I set up this Excel spreadsheet? Can I do a scene capture for Excel? If I click, do I have to create a new window capture? I think I do. So add source. No, I don't want to use Copilot. Go away, stupid AI. Video capture, media file, alert box, chat box, stream label, capture source, browse, display capture, window capture. That's what we want. Window capture. Add source. It's going to be add a new source. We're going to call it Excel. Excel, add source, and window will be book 1 Excel. There we go. Bam. Look at that. Why is that window so big? Oh no, it's just not showing the lines very well. Okay. So here we should have, we would call it pro, I'm gonna do control B, pro spam. The next one over will be anti-spam. Oh, you can be control B as well. Anti-spam. Quit capitalizing thing. I can spell. I can do it. Fingers. There we go. All right, anti-spam. I'm gonna make these a little wider because you know. There we go. Wait, are you? Control B. There we go. Anti-spam. And then the total. I have to do some math here. So all right. Okay. So I'll have to look up what 999 pounds is in US dollars, which will change, but I'll just do it by the pounds to USD. 9.99. 1336. Word. Okay. So, all right. So we got $2, 13.36. Another $2. Got 19.99. Oh, and this is what we got first negative, right? Oh, we got a 9.99 there, so 9.99, 9.99. And then we had our first negative on this side, so that's a 5. And then we had a negative 2.99. Oops, that's 299, 2.99. And then we had negative 499, negative 499. Well, I can't put the negative in there because I'm just going to add these up. So 2.99, 499, 499, a positive 499 on the other side, and then 999. And we have a 20 over here. We have a 4.99. We have another 4.99. We have a 5 over yonder. Whoa, I made that as 4,999. I don't think I meant to do that. That's supposed to be a 499 and then a 999. Oops. Okay. That's 4.99. And there's a 9.99. And then we got a 1 and a 1 for both sides. 1 there. 1 there. And we got a Canadian 5. What's Canadian $5 at US right now? Open up that. CAD to USD. 5. 3.57. Okay. Here we go. All right. So it's a 3.57. 3.57. All right. So the goal is what we need to do here is we need to do total. So that would be this column right here, that through, I guess, infinity. Just make that go like that, and we will take that column. I haven't been so long since I've had to do these. Come on, come on. So it'll be this guy, which will be A, right? A minus B equals, right? What I want? Oh no, I have to put them in parentheses. I can't remember. I haven't done this in so long. All right. Oh no, if I click on, oh, that's what I gotta do. I have that. I click there and then I click on that. No, shit. I haven't had to do an Excel spreadsheet in like 20 years. I can subtotal it. Oh, I just made everything 2 on that side, didn't I? Fuck. God damn it. There we go. Okay. Ah, shit. I'm gonna figure it out later. I don't need you guys to see me figure out how to do Excel spreadsheets again because I haven't opened this thing up in so long. So we'll just go back to, wait. No. Ah. Oh, crap. I put the Excel spreadsheet on the Big Houston. I didn't mean to do that. So now how do I get rid of you? Excel. There we go. Problems galore. Jigga Shukla, Don't watch too much baseball. Who's a Hall of Famer in LA? Well, Mookie Betts probably be a Hall of Famer. Shohei Ohtani will probably be a Hall of Famer. Freeman probably a Hall of Famer. You're looking at my guess is several of the pitching staff probably join the Hall of Fame. We got several Cy Young winners there. Yeah, it's gonna be like we can look at their roster. Dodgers stats. Oops. Let's go to Baseball Reference. There we go. Okay, go to Scene. Go to Chrome. Click on that. Click on that. Done. Okay, so we have the 2025 Dodgers. Okay. What we have Freddie Freeman, probably Hall of Fame. Mookie Betts, Hall of Fame. Shohei Ohtani, Hall of Fame. You got some pretty goods like Teoscar, who was a Mariners a couple of years ago, in there. I mean, everyone in their staff hit minimum 13 home runs of their starters. That's pretty darn good for a team to have that many like mashing home runs at the moment. RBI is not that high. You know, we had just Shohei over 100, which is kind of weird. Just have that. But on the pitching side, you got Yoshinobu Yamamoto, who's probably going to win a World Series someday. You got Clayton Kershaw, who's going to definitely be first ballot Hall of Famer. Shohei Ohtani, who was injured and just came back from his elbow replacement. He's going to be Hall of Fame. So you can kind of count him twice because he'll probably be Hall of Fame for both sides. Then you have when that happened to what's his butt? Yeah, where's what's his butt? Yoshinobu, Clayton Kershaw, Dustin May, Glasnow, Shohei, Kirby. Where is Blake Snell? There he is. Okay, so Blake Snell is not right because he came over later in the season. There's a chance he could be in that Hall of Fame range. He's a Cy Young winner. His ERA is really decent this year. His WHIP's actually okay. But yeah, they're pretty darn good. They're very darn good, I should say, in this day and age to have baseball it's playing. But I digress. Okay, I gotta go back up. I gotta scroll back to actually talk about things other than baseball, so that you lose my entire European audience. Okay, did that. We did Hazel A. We did the gold one, gold question. Oh yeah, the Michael Harrow got me off on the can of spam waylay. ECB, what happened to the big settlement from JP Morgan earlier this year? We don't know if JP Morgan did the settlement. We assume they did because the amount of money that was being asked by the estate of the board was very high and indicated that JP Morgan was involved in racketeering against the fiduciary duty of the board with their shareholders. So we are assuming that to avoid a racketeering investigation or a racketeering lawsuit against JP Morgan, the JP Morgan stepped in and paid the money that the board owes and perhaps more. But we don't know what that total is, and we won't know what that total is until bankruptcy is done. This is because the estate doesn't want to prejudice potential settlements with other entities that they're involved in lawsuits upon what those totals are. So they aren't going to reveal any of those totals until bankruptcy is complete. So, what do you want, Fat Cat? That's kind of where we are, right? Kiki. Okay. Shut up. Polestar Naylor taking flight and getting beamed in the head was something. You know, it was a pretty brilliant. Had he not jumped in the air to take that ball to the head, he probably wouldn't have been called for interference. But because he intentionally jumped to get in the way, I think that's where the interference call came from. But that is a dude literally putting his body on the line to get to the World Series. And that's the type of player the Mariners need to just open up their checkbook and just write whatever number he wants to keep him. I think he likes playing in Seattle. I think he put up some of the best numbers of his entire life in Seattle. This is a guy who's rather big boned, right? He's the second slowest person in baseball, but somehow stole 21 bases in the 2.5 months he was on the Mariners team. If he had been on the Mariners the entire season, he would have stolen 57 bases and likely have led the league in stolen bases. That kind of mojo coming out of someone is like, wow, you just sign it. You know, he's going to be a 300 hitter. He's going to knock you in runs. He's going to be a stable force in the middle of the lineup that people will try to pitch around. Sign him, right? He does pretty good defense at first base for being a big guy. Just whatever he asks for, just give it to him. Gino Suarez. Gino has not hit as well in Seattle as he has in other places, although he likes it in Seattle. I think he's kind of like Teoscar Hernandez, who, you know, he did okay in Seattle, but he didn't really like hitting here. There's something about, for some hitters, the batter's eye in center field just doesn't sit well with them, and they have a hard time seeing the ball come out of the pitcher's hand. It does not seem to matter for Cal Raleigh. He can still mash home runs all day long out there. But you know, for years, the Mariners, every offseason, like, they change the batter's eye a little bit, try and make it better for hitters, and it just doesn't sync up with certain people. I say this as a guy who grew up with, like, no batter's eye ever for anywhere I ever played. It's just like trees. All you saw was trees in the background. So, you know, the little things that can make players happy. Some of them don't like the cold springs and the cold falls to play in. Pitchers love it. But, you know, Naylor's doing really well here, so he might want to stay. So just give him his money, man. Joe Finero, more baseball teams, 2 teams, 2 countries. I have no problem with expanding major leagues to Mexico. Like, you know, put a couple of teams in major cities in Mexico. I'd do it. I like more baseball. My ideal baseball, after playing in Europe, is I would love to see us move to a relegation promotion system, so that Major League Baseball doesn't have a monopoly on baseball anymore, in that what are now minor league teams will all be independently owned teams. They can be owned by the communities, they can be owned by individuals, and everyone can fight for a chance to move up in the leagues. And so you can get situations like, if you watched Welcome to Wrexham at all, where, you know, big money can come into a small town and change the fortunes of that team, and watch them move up tier after tier after tier after tier, and possibly get themselves to the top league in the entire nation one day. There are more professional teams in the Netherlands, a country of 16 million people, than there are in the whole of the United States because of the relegation system. Every single solitary town has a pro team from League 1 through League 4. And so, you know, while they might not have, you know, the huge number of little leaguers that play, they still have an opportunity for every single solitary community to have a team that they can go cheer behind. And it's the same way in Austria. Like, you know, all these little towns had baseball teams. No one heard of them, but they still had people out there playing as adults. You know, having the opportunity. Like, if my town had a little baseball team, that, you know, as I come out of college, I knew that I'd go play for the hometown team and have a chance at championships at our division levels and have a chance of moving up. That would have been amazing, right? You basically have barn burners all the time. You know, you play on the weekends, so you have your normal jobs, and then maybe if you do well enough, you can get signed by a bigger club somewhere. I would love for that to happen. I'd also love that when you've got cheap ownership like you do in Colorado, there's a chance they'd move down to AAA, and some AAA team would move up to the major leagues. You know, screw those owners. If they aren't willing to pay, then screw them. They should get punished and sent down to the lower leagues. I think it will make baseball a lot better. You get, when teams are shitty and they move down to lower leagues, there's a fire sale, and what good players they have go out and strengthen all the other teams, I think it would be beautiful. So I would definitely go for stripping Major League Baseball from their ability to have monopoly like they have now, and move to a more egalitarian system like promotion relegation, European style. I like it. Corey Jones. It was a great series. Have a slice on me. That home run Shohei Ohtani hit was incredible. LA might be too good. Maybe next year. Go Braves. Yeah, Shohei hit it out of the park. Just 170. He had, 217 mile an hour home runs in that game on Friday. He is a freakazoid. An absolute freakazoid. Don't you drink the last little bit of water I have? Don't you do it. You hang out here, fat hey, oh whiny. But thank you, Corey Jones. I will have a slice on you, or two, or a whole pie, and then weep into it forever. Michael Harrow, Nuggies intro. Oh, I forgot to do the Nuggies intro. Dang it. You know what? Because you said it, we will do the Nuggie intro. You have the hiccups right now? She's like staring at me and hiccuping. I didn't know Dog got the hiccups. I know it's a legacy in the diaphragm from when we were like fish people, but yeah. How's that? How's that? Gotta turn off the Nuggie Star intro, Houston. Turn off the Nuggie intro. Just talk about Nuggies. Just turn it off. There we go. Bam. All right. See, wheels are coming off at all times, kitty cat. Nothing's safe. Okay, did that one. Kelly Reed. Hey, Hughes dog. We are living in the golden age of stupidity. That's why gold prices are so high. It's all the stupidity. Was Houston the real Napster? I was. Man, I stole so much back in the day. Kazaa, Napster, Torrent. I was poor. I'm not going to be able to see these things unless I steal it. So that's what I did. I stole it. I admit that. You wouldn't steal a car, would you? Remember those promos on the DVDs? So why would you steal a film? Because it's free. That's why. Okay. Ding ding dong. Google free media. Heck yeah. Free media. Heck yeah. Welcome to Free Media. Heck yeah. Download all your favorite software, movies, shows, music, download more torrenting, download your favorite media using the BitTorrent protocol. Oh, well, there you go. Thievery. And now they're like moving all the production overseas, I don't feel like I'm taking American jobs at this point, right? It's like, you did it to yourself, really. Clinton Schultz. I've been in this place since 2021. My wife and I have been watching you from the beginning. I'm hoping my fellow Canadian Ryan Cohen is just keeping his cards close to his chest. So frustrating. I'm there with you. I understand keeping cards close to the chest, but you can still get people excited without revealing the play. You can say, we got big plans coming. Shit's going to be awesome. They'll go, yeah! So you can do that. But I'm feeling that he's just like, we need to tighten the budget a little more. And that's basically what we get out of him. Ohm says, happy birthday, Papa Houston. Go Jays. Polestar, Super Stonk still slurping RC's dingus. And useless Larry Chang, who thinks he's some sort of philosopher. Guy probably reads these off of some cheap daily calendar. Yeah, Larry Chang definitely does have LinkedIn brain. I can't imagine sitting down and having a conversation with Larry Chang and having it be just like riveting. He seems like the type of guy who reads like how-to books and then follows them and like highlights them and follows every piece of advice in them for like 3 weeks until he gets to the next how-to book, self-help book, and goes from there. I mean, he's savvy investor. He's richer than all of us, but is it cool if you're really rich but you're boring as shit? Like, what's maybe he's just a wild man outside of LinkedIn. He's just absolutely like at the strip clubs making it rain, and he's backstage at like Motley Crue concerts or something, and then he's like puts on his game face and he makes some sort of LinkedIn brain post about, following through on commitments. I'm like, oh fuck, who gives a shit? Polestar, Larry Chang even said RC's interview was good. Lol. Drew's Mammy, the Argentina peso tanked again today. Besant can use all those he purchased as confetti when someone passes. Yeah, buying up Argentinian pesos is like shit. I might as well sell them. I have somewhere around here like Soviet Union ruples that I got off eBay a couple years ago. I could sell those to Besant. He'd be like, oh yeah. Argentina has no industry growth. Their mom and pop businesses are failing by the thousands in states across the entire country. The black market is huge. All people care about is hard currency. They're basically going back to pre-Malay, buying things now because having the object is worth more than the currency you're using to purchase it with. So if you need to go buy an orange, you go buy 10 oranges if you have the money, because those oranges would cost 10 times as much a week from now. Inflation is high. Unemployment is at record levels. Starvation is at record levels. Malay is not going to be able to rebound that economy by firing everyone from their jobs. That type of austerity just doesn't work. And I know it's the libertarian way of doing it, like push yourself by bootstraps, and then have to beg somebody else for a bunch of money to bail you out. But you have to keep people employed. That's the only way you keep the velocity of money going through an economy. So just firing everyone with no plan to figure out what industries they can move into, it's not going to work. And if your one hope is that Nissan's going to keep their car plant open, and Nissan is already failing miserably, they're not going to build cars in your country. They just aren't. So, especially if there's nowhere for them to export them to. Yeah, Malay's a doofus. He's a doofus monger. Fred Jones says, freedom! Word. Z Money, Houston. I love you, bruh. Keep up the good. We're almost there on the Bobbytown Express to fucking Stacks of Cashville. I sure hope so. Yeah. Just made me, damn, that's bright. My whole house is lit up. What? I don't know what that means. Louis throwing some stickers out there. I'm in live chat. Damn, I'm in top chat. Oh, crap. I'm probably missing chats here. Dang it. Okay, that's dang on bright. What'd I miss? I don't know if I missed anything. Louis throwing stickers. Hazel A, Z Money, are you saying RBYQ is getting close to paying out? I mean, Ryan Coon could have made a towel reference during that interview. He could have something that was like, ooh? No, it was boring. Nothing cool. I don't know, man. Polestar, so NASA's next to go, Houston Wade, and then SpaceX will take over, and Elmo will be Space Wizard King. Yeah, today Trump hinted at shutting down NASA entirely and relying exclusively on private industry to do any space exploration. The problem is that private industry does not do space exploration. Private industry launches communication satellites, and that's about it. That's what private industry does, because that's where the money's made in space, is via communication satellites. If you shut down NASA, you are losing out on all space exploration. So anything that goes to another planet, anything that observes the sun, anything that monitors space weather, anything that goes beyond the solar system, all that stuff is done by NASA through federal grants sent to JPL, Johnson, etc., to build these satellites and probes, and then they launch them into space. Granted, they use private industry now to launch them into space. Cool. You got a rocket we can use, we'll use that. But the private industry is not going to be like, you know what I want to study? I want to study water vapor in the crust of X moon. They're not going to do that because all they're going to do is put more communication satellites up there until there's too many communication satellites and they'll crash into each other and then we get a Kessler event and then we can never go to space again. That's their entire MO. So it's dumb. It's really dumb. And Pulsar says, speaking of SpaceX and Starlink, you see Starlink sending out weird signals. I'd say some sort of Russian Chinese spy shit. I don't trust anything Starlink has to do. I don't trust Elon Musk for anything. I think he has been speaking to Putin way more than has been revealed. We know that the Shahed drones that keep, crashing into Ukraine and elsewhere have Starlink connections in them. So Elon is definitely violating sanctions by allowing the use of those weapons or the weapons to have use of his system. I don't think he can be trusted in any way, shape, or form. And I've been saying this for years, since even before, the invasion of Ukraine. My first tweet about Elon Musk was referring to him as, one inconvenience away from becoming a Bond villain. That was my first mention of Elon Musk on social media in, 2017 or whatever, was I don't like Elon Musk. So I've been very consistent about that for all these years. People, like, when I say shitty things, Elon Musk, like, oh, I bet you loved him 5 years ago. No, I did not. I thought he was a piece of shit then too. Everyone in my grad program thought Elon Musk was a piece of shit. That he was awful to his employees, that his goals were unrealistic and kind of garbage in the long run, and that Starlink would never work the way he wanted it to and would be way bigger than what he said it was going to be and much more expensive to operate. And his cars are boring. So, yeah. Cheers, Mammy. Dumpy just said China tariff of 155% as of November 1st. Seems he doesn't have the cards. So we're losing out in negotiations with China. Trump announced some sort of rare earths metals deal with Australia. Be like, we're going to buy rare earths from Australia. But the problem is that 100% of Australia's rare earths go to China for processing, and then China controls the minerals from that point forward. So good job there. Last week, Trump's like, we're going to send tomahawks to Ukraine. Ukraine's like, yes. And then Trump had a phone call with Putin, and all of a sudden Trump's like, we don't have enough tomahawks. We can't spare them for Ukraine. And at that point, Russia was like, yeah, the negotiations we're going to have in Budapest, canceled. Why? Because now we had no bargaining chips, right? If we were to give a whole bunch of tomahawks to Ukraine, Russia would be like, fuck, we got to negotiate. But now that we already gave them what they wanted, Russia's like, we don't need talks. We're good. So, yeah, he's just the master negotiator. Absolute just wizard negotiating. He's so good at negotiating. I just don't get it. I don't get how he's that good. How is he that good, Monkey? You were never really that good at negotiating, were you? Huh? Did you learn everything you knew from him? Is that what we got? Yeah, like, why'd you wake me up? He's like, Trump's playing solitaire. Everyone's playing poker. He's playing solitaire. Drew's Mammy, dear Christy Gnome, everything illegal Mr. Wade is talking about is all satire. Totally. Did you see? Drew sent me a video, but outside Chicago, ICE were messing with these two Mexican dudes. And this other Mexican guy is like, fuck you. I will die for this shit. You leave him alone. And I could just tell from the camera angle, like, I could hold the camera up above my head and look down at everyone, but I could tell this dude is holding the camera at face level and looking down on these guys from like where the voice is coming from in the video and everything. And that these ICE people were probably like, that's the biggest Mexican I've ever seen in my life. If I shoot him, all I'm going to do is anger him and he's going to tear us apart. And they just like slink back into their cars and left them alone and drove off. That's what every community needs, is they need themselves a big ass Mexican. We have big ass Mexicans sometimes show up in our community here. And just, tell tell ICE what's what. You're a bunch of Nazis. You touch those guys, we're going to flatten you, and there's nothing you can do about it. And the ICE guys were like, we think you are correct. You could flatten us. And yeah, so let's just hope that we have more people like that in all the communities across America who can stand up for their community members in that way. Just mamming, locker room stuff. Thank you, his legal counsel. Yes, I'm just a child with saying locker room, just locker room talk. Yeah. Jay Geyser, if they raise charity limit and you restart charity shows, will you actually ship the rewards? Oh my God. It's like, those people who know there's something wrong with them and they refuse to go to the doctor because they just don't want to find out what it is. That's me. And the 3 boxes worth of stuff I need to mail out that's stuck in the storage room and I just haven't touched it. That's I know someday I just need to just do it. I just need to buckle down and you just mail that stuff out and just get it done. But it's like the most daunting, pressing thing I have in my life. And my psyche, all it can do is just push it down. I don't know. Maybe easier if we just had a party and everyone came to me and I just handed them to you. Here you go. And here you go. And here you go. Kitty cat. I don't know what to do. I know what to do. I just can't summon the courage, the fortitude, I don't know. I don't know. I know what the answer is, but I don't know what the answer is. Know what I mean? And also, Jake, sorry. Just says, ha ha ha, no, that box is probably buried drum. 3 boxes buried, basically, at this point. Yeah. Okay, I'm almost at the end here. I'm going to try and get through the end. Jay Geyser, watching you go through Dodger roster at a moment. Zoom, please. Not hard to do. Yeah. While you're at it, the streaming software not letting you go full screen is Ghetto. Name another streaming podcast that needs a margin around the edge. Can't think of one. I made the margin around the. I'd make the margin around. Enraged Goose Studios made the margin around the edge for me because it's sets us apart. That's why it's there. I can make it full screen if I want to, but I like having a little edge. Do you guys not like it? Is it mean? Is it? I don't know. I have no problem with it, but I can always get rid of it if it makes you guys angry. We go back to just having no border. And Dizzy sends out a super chat. Tired of the GME conspiracy nuts calling people shills for criticizing a bad interview where RC potentially alienated Call of Duty company. Yeah. There's people that have been in this thing since the beginning that I saw posts that interview was dog shit and basically all it did was insult us who have been in this for 5 years. People are like, shill, who have a year-old account to folks who have been in this thing since January 2020 and before. You should be allowed to ask things of the CEO of the company. That is that's supposedly Ryan Cohen's entire point, right? Is that he invests in a company and he goes to the board and he's like, hey, you need to make me money, right? And he takes over the board. That's what he did at GameStop. That's what he tried to do at Bed Bath & Beyond, right? So why are people getting pissed at us fellow investors asking Ryan, what the fuck are you doing for me? Shut up, cat. You don't get to ask that of me. You're not an investor. You just take. That's all you do. So quit yelling at me. So yeah. All we are doing is exactly what he's doing. It's just we don't have the ability to purchase 10% or more of the company in a go. So our voices have to be collective, right? And not just one singular monster coming in and buying a whole bunch. I honestly don't know if Roaring Kitty even has GameStop stock at this point. He may have been like, you know what? Fuck this. And he's out. I don't know. He's not given us any updates in a long time. He unfollowed Ryan Cohen on Twitter. Just might. He might not. He might not even be invested anymore. I have no idea. He's not given us a sign in a long time. So, anywho, I got to get going. No show tomorrow. I will see you guys Thursday for a show, and I'll give you an update of when it's always sad but truthful. is able to come back and collect on that rain check. All right. Okay. I gotta click on you. Boink. Okay.